Good morning. Just to recap, yesterday, we're still in our book of Garden of Shalom. We said yesterday that what? We have to put our wife as number one. We also said that if a man wants to speak to his wife, he has to pray that Hashem should help him with Siyata Dishmaya. He has to have what's called foresight. Yeah? You have to envision what's going to happen if I, do this, say that, or what have you. Right? We said that the slightest thing that'll take away from number one, it could be a slight thing. Yeah? That's it. The whole building that we just built crashes down and falls on us.
Investment is gone.
Investment is gone, exactly. And he says whoever invests in his marriage by not commenting to his wife, by putting her number one, by watching what he says, is the biggest investment. The return on this investment is unimaginable. Over here it says, you shall desire your man. What is this? It says nothing must detract from or compete with a wife's rightful status as number one in her husband's life. Not even children, not even Torah learning, not a career, not work, not hobbies, or a husband's rabbi or a spiritual guide. None of these should go in front of her, he says. A man must pray not only for the success in everyday endeavors, but also that whatever he's doing doesn't slight the wife's feeling of being the first place in any way. Why is that? Hashem instilled in the woman the burning desire to be on the highest rung of her husband's priorities. It says, the Torah says in Bereshit, you shall desire your man and he shall govern you, meaning that a husband governs his wife's moods. You hear? It says she can attain genuine happiness only through him, through his attention, through his love, through his respect for her. Huh? Yeah. She is therefore totally dependent on him. There was a shiur one time I made here in this room that I said, what? I cannot make you happy. Yeah? Remember that shiur? I was sitting right over there. And it's titled, I cannot make you happy. And in there, he was saying that a person has to have genuine happiness from within. If a person is genuinely not happy from within, no matter what you do to him, he cannot be happy. And that's what I really thought until today. He says, that's good with everybody else, but not with your wife. That's good with you because I'm not your wife. I'm not your husband. Yeah, and therefore, if you're miserable inside, no matter what can I dance for you and this and that, you'll crack a smile, but you won't really be happy. He says, with the wife, it's not like that. With the wife, her entire mood depends on the husband. And why is that? Hashem said so. He says in Bereshit, when he cursed her after Chava's sin, he said, what? You're going to desire your man and he's going to govern you. So therefore, depending on what we have inside, is going to depend on how she feels. You understand? And depending on what we're going to do, say, is going to be the reflection of how she feels.
Rabbi Rietzi says,
yeah?
If you squeeze an olive,
yes,
what comes out?
Oil.
Whatever is inside.
Yes.
So if he is happy inside, and if he's squeezed, it's going to happiness come out.
Absolutely. And he says, why did Hashem instill in a woman the dependence on her husband? Why is that? He says, first, since Chava tempted Adam, and as such caused the advent of death in the world, for before the sin, there was no death. Therefore, all women are compelled to receive their vitality from their husbands. For without the husband's attention, the wife's life tastes like death. That's one. It says time and time again, we see that a woman may have almost everything: diamonds, gold, career, success, fame, style, status, recognition, and more. Yet, if she doesn't have her husband's total love and respect, her life tastes like ashes to her. You hear? She has everything. Very successful woman. Lawyer, schmore, whatever it is. No love of a husband, no connection, no number one. For her, it's like zero. She has no joy. Nothing can substitute for the ultra VIP treatment she needs from her husband. Who would have thought of that? Second, Adam was created with immortal powers. His sin reduced him to the level of a mere mortal, meaning, apparently Adam, as he says, he had powers beyond what we understand. But when the sin happened, it became like ours, regular guy. He says, therefore, all men are compelled to reduce their own self-importance by caring for their wives before they care for themselves. Look at that, interesting. Okay, one more time. Therefore, all men are compelled to reduce their own self-importance by caring for their wives before they care for themselves. Wives, children, I guess, our father's always caring for them, no? He says, this includes giving her empathy, sympathy, understanding, and a listening ear. It also means sacrificing his own desires for her desires, as well as respecting her, protecting her, and always siding with her against everyone else. Wow. It says, the need for a husband to give so much to his wife provides the husband with the necessary soul correction, namely, uprooting arrogance and his inherent tendency to care for himself first. On an esoteric level, this is also a correction of Adam's sin. Wow, you hear what he's saying? What's stopping us from doing all this? Only arrogance. You know what arrogance is, right? Why should I do that? Who she thinks she is? Who you think you are? You hear? A man is a very arrogant person. Why? Because that's how he's built, like a lion. A lion is very arrogant. He walks around like, I'm the king of the jungle. Do you want to mess with me? You hear? So therefore, a man is also like that.
He's a king.
Huh?
He's a king.
Yeah, he's a king, but let me tell you something. Sometimes you also see a lion that's almost about to go. So he's saying, our correction is to bring this arrogance down. Mullah Yaakov knows very well what arrogance is. Bukhari men are very, very arrogant. Yeah? No, I mean, he says, thank you for the compliment. Yeah? He says, we have to work on our arrogance. And it's a very difficult thing. Some of us have an easier time doing that than others. But he says, through caring of the wife and things like that, we're going to bring our arrogance to the point of correction.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. He says, by subjugating his will to her will, the husband eradicates the blemish of the heretical attitude of the might of my hand from his soul. Yeah, every man says, what? You know who I am. Strong, Gibor. Yeah? Says this opens the path to emunah, which is the loftiest acquisition he can dream of in this world. A husband that willingly subjugates his will to his wife's will avoids marital strife, avoids arguments, avoids headaches, avoids bad feelings. With marital bliss, he's free to devote his time and energy to whatever vital task he needs to be done. Prayer, teshuvah, and humility help him to reach this goal. Here, so he says, why fight? He says, by you subjugating yourself to her, you're going to understand what emunah is. Why? That's what Hashem wants. That's what Hashem wants.
It's a great benefit.
It is. But when can you do that? When you remove or put your
yourself.
right, lower yourself, lower your arrogance down, do whatever she, needs or wants, and this way, even if it looks not to be good, you're saying, no, that's what Hashem wants. Because again, Hashem wouldn't do it if He doesn't want it. You hear? Tragically, a mother and the daughters died on Saturday because of the accident. But really, if we look at the behind the scenes of it, it was already, predestined already. Meaning this mother and two children had to die. They didn't have to die like this, but it is what it is. And therefore, on an emunah level, we have to understand that Hashem gives and Hashem takes. It's hard to say that, it hurts, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. Could we have changed anything? Most probably not. It's not, maybe if I wouldn't be walking and this and that. At the end of the day, if they were meant to have died, they would have died in a different, elevator accident or some other type of a, accident. Here. Third, since Adam willingly heeded to Chava in sinning, a husband now heed his wife even if it goes against his will.
Oh, this is a powerful one.
Yeah? And he leaves it like that. Again, it says, since Adam willingly listened to her in sinning, now he must listen to her even if it goes against his will. I hope he develops this in in a little bit more because I want to understand what that means.
You're saying like he did listen to her back then.
Yeah.
And because of this whole
Messed up.
came,
Now he has to listen to her.
even more now she has to still listen to her.
Yeah. Why?
Correct himself.
Because to correct himself, now he has to listen to what, Kilo?
Correct himself, it means to not listen next
No,
time.
that's what we would have think. Yeah, why should I listen to her? She
already bring that
Oh,
in.
but since we know that who's directing her, we said Hashem. Hashem is directing her. You hear? So therefore, not to listen to her Hashem to sin. No, but to listen to her needs and wants. He says, like an ape, what is that? Love, respect, devotion, dedication, empathy, sympathy, understanding, and a listening ear aren't enough to make a wife feel like she's first place. Imagine you do all that, still
Not enough.
not enough. A husband must add kind words and frequent compliments, give her the feeling that she's the best, the most beautiful, the smartest, and so forth. You hear? You're doing all that, not enough. You're so beautiful, Slatka Maya, you this, you that.
Admire her.
Huh?
Admire.
Yeah. He says, the Zohar says that Adam praised Chava, saying that she was the most beautiful of women, and all others looked like apes compared to her. That's the way a husband should talk about his wife, about her cooking, about her interior decorating, and everything else that she does. He has to show her that no one can ever replace her in life. So her status as highest priority won't be threatened in any way, ever. You hear what he's saying? Food doesn't taste good. The design that at home she did, you don't particularly like it. Wow, the best design in the world. I don't think anybody could do something like that.
It has to be genuine.
But listen, did he say what? He says you have to comment, regardless. Yeah? Is she the most beautiful in the world? Of course not. There are other beautiful women out there. There are at the end of the day. What does he say? You tell her you're the most beautiful in the world for me. There's no comparison. Well, is that genuine? At the end of the day, is that
Yes,
genuine?
It's genuine when we don't look at others.
But at the end of the day.
Imagine a man is in a situation he cannot see any other women.
I hear.
Then the mikvah day came.
I hear.
Of course, he's the most.
I hear.
And that's how it's supposed to be.
Okay. And if she does feel threatened in any way, he should reassure her, sweetie, there's nobody but you. I'm worthless without you. Here? This requires sensitivity and alertness on the part of the husband. If he senses that she considers herself inferior to anyone else in his life, he should immediately show her and convince her otherwise. Very difficult. I'm pretty sure we all failed on this, throughout the years. He says, education, maintaining the wife's security that she's first place is a basic requirement of peace in the home. If a husband remembers this, he'll spare himself incredible headaches and anguishes. Meaning, if you understand that she's number one, and you treat her that way, no headaches. The principle is especially true in child education. Sometimes mother loses patience with the children. As a result, she might react with anger or raise a voice or even slap one of the children. This is a critical test of the husband. If he defends the children against the mother, her wrath will be double. She will construe that her place, the children are above. Now that she feels that she's not first place in his life, he can forget about peace at home. Imagine, we're talking children here, yeah? Even with children, you cannot put.
Even when she's not right.
The child is, even when she's not right.
Not right.
She hits the child. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, you're defending the child? You're not on my side?
Rabbi says about parents, his parents. If she says something, they're like this, what the husband's supposed to do? The rabbi said, you have to play along with her. You say, I don't know how my mom lives with him. You're right. Not like this.
Very difficult.
It's
Very
like this
difficult.
stage.
The husband's compassion for his persecuted quote unquote children is one of the Yesahar's traps. You hear? Yeah. Wow. You hear what he says? He says that when she does this to the children, Yeah? Persecutor. The Yetzer Hara saying, okay, let's say I got him now. Why is he going to say, yo, what are you doing? Why are you speaking like that to them? Why you don't do the dishes? Tell nicely, yeah? I've been caught in traps like that. Yeah? He says, in this case, compassion for the children is cruelty against the mother. Compassion for the children is cruelty against the mother.
Rabbi says at this moment, run away.
He says, why was he compassionate on them and cruel on her? Yeah. The answer is simple. They are more important to him than she is. Why? It's very difficult, guys. I don't know. Very difficult.
It's difficult when we don't internalize this. When we internalize...
Yeah, but she's doing something wrong.
Yeah, but
you hear what I'm saying?
You said it here,
so
and
then,
the situation come, you already know what to do.
Yeah, he says like this. He says, stop and think. Is your wife yelling because she's happy and content? Of course not. A happy wife is a patient wife, and she's a content mother. Her short temper shows that she's not happy, for her husband fails to give her what she needs. The feeling that she comes first, even before children. So he says, you know why she's screaming? Because she's not happy. And you know why she's not happy? Because you're not putting her number one. And therefore, if you again fix yourself, she'll never scream at them. She'll be patient, patient. He says, instead of justifying her and building her confidence and feeling of security, the unwitting husband does the opposite by scolding her and defending the children. He is proving to her that her feelings of frustration and discontent are justified. I did the right thing. For she certainly is not number one in his life. Understandably, she's now angrier and more frustrated than she was before. It's a downward escalator, Well, it's difficult. If the husband would have placed his compassion in the right place, with her and not with the children, he would have been a big winner as follows. First, the wife would have felt that he's on her side. Her anger would have subsided immediately. And in that respect, he would have rescued the children from her fury. You hear? Meaning, he should be on her side always. Yeah? And then, since she sees, whoa, he's on my side, she, Gavarit, will calm down. You hear? Second, situations like this are golden opportunities to show her that she's the most important person in his life.
It's a golden opportunity.
Yeah, preferring her over his children is the ultimate proof of his loyalty to her.
Ooh, wow.
She knows full well how much he loves his children. So when he places her above them, she's really happy. This is one of the biggest compliments he can give her. For his actions speak much louder than his words. It's difficult. Listen, don't say wow. It's difficult.
It's difficult, but it's a golden opportunity.
It's a difficult situation here. Third, once things calm down, the husband can educate his children in the proper manner. He can reassure them how much she loves them and explain them the importance of listening to their mother rather than upsetting them. He can itemize all the wonderful things that their mother does for them, many of which they take for granted. He should show them just how wonderful she is and how fortunate they are, and perhaps conclude the discussion with a story from our sages about honoring parents. Look what he says. Don't talk to her. Don't later say, sweetie, you spoke to them a little bit not nice. You hit them for no reason. No. Leave her on the side. She's number one. You go talk to the children. Guys, be nice to mom. It's very respectful to be nice. Next time when she says pick it up. Do like this, be like that. Look how much she does for us. She cleans for us. She cooks for us. She's this, she's that. She gave birth to you. She takes you to school. She goes, them, not her. What do? Everything's quiet. What are you doing? How can you do that to the kids? What? Since when do we hit? You said karova. You said this. You said that. What's wrong? So he says, the scenario of a confrontation between wife and children is a true test of the husband's priorities. If the feeling that his wife is first place is not deeply embedded in his heart, then it's doubtful that the husband will pass this test under fire.
It has to be real.
Yeah. If a husband is fortunate enough to internalize the necessity of doing everything to elevate his wife's status above everything and everyone else in his life, then such potentially volatile situations as a flare between her and the children won't be a test for him at all. He says it's clear to him that first and foremost, he stands by her side. This is true compassion for his children. For when she's happy, she won't have to dump a payload of anger and frustration on their heads. You hear what he says? He says, when you fulfill your wife that she's number one, and you treat her with respect and so on and so forth, she will never dump this garbage on them. She's doing it because of the fact that she feels empty. You hear? And therefore, we have to work on our strength to put our ga'ava down, to put our sensibility, because at the end of the day, what's the sensible thing to do? We would think that what? We have to diffuse the situation. You hear? We have to diffuse the situation. Stop this thing. Say, hey, what's going on? But even but yeah, leave the heart somewhere else. You hear? And Bez Hashem, like this, we'll have Shalom Bayit with our wives.